All right, welcome. Today we're diving into that classic clash between the developer and the creative. You know the one. It's a tension that can absolutely sink a project. But what if? What if that conflict is actually the secret sauce to making something incredible?
So, to really get into this, we're going to frame this debate between two, let's say, very different mindsets. In this corner, we've got host A, our developer. For them, efficiency is elegance. Clean code, fast load times, that's beauty. And in the other corner, we have host B, our artist, who says, nope, authenticity is the only thing that matters. It's all about the feeling, the story, the vibe. Two completely opposite views trying to exist in the same digital world.
Let's put this whole thing to the test with a problem I know you've all had. You snap a picture of this amazing moment, but when you look at your screen, it just feels meh, lifeless. Now, a creative might tell you, you just need a better camera. But what if the problem isn't the hardware at all? A developer might look at it and say the real fix is hidden somewhere in the data.
To really see how this plays out, we're giving both our hosts the exact same challenge. Fix one single bad photograph. This is where it all comes down to it. The raw data squaring off against raw emotion.
And here it is, our subject. Yep, it's that classic sunset photo we've all taken. You know the one, the colors are kind of washed out, you can see all that grainy digital noise in the dark parts, and everything's just a little bit fuzzy. It just fails to capture that incredible feeling of actually being there. The big question is, why? So first up, let's get the artist's perspective. Host B looks at this image and doesn't see pixels or file types. No, they see a complete failure of artistry. For them, the why, the whole emotional point of the photo, is way more important than the how it was captured.
Now, what's really fascinating about Host B's critique is everything that's not on this list. See any mention of resolution? Compression? Nope. It is all about the feeling. The colors are emotionally dissonant. The composition feels off. And the big one, the human touch just isn't there. For Host B, this photo is a failure because it doesn't tell you a story.
And this quote just perfectly sums up B's entire worldview. You can't write a line of code that generates a feeling. The fix isn't a faster processor. It's a better photographer with a better eye who found better light. It's a powerful argument for that irreplaceable human element.
Okay, but now let's switch gears and jump over to host A and into a completely different reality. For our engineer, this isn't about drama and feelings. It's about data, plain and simple. The problem isn't a lack of soul, it's a lack of data integrity. See, host A doesn't see a bad photo here. They see a compromised data file. I mean, just look at these numbers. The resolution is way too low. There's a crazy 78% loss of color data. And that signal-to-noise ratio, it's terrible. So that missing feeling host B was talking about, to host A, that's just a predictable, measurable symptom of poor data quality. So how does the engineer solve it? Not with a better eye, but with a better process. A logical, repeatable, and just super efficient AI workflow. First, it finds and gets rid of the digital noise. Then it algorithmically expands the image, literally rebuilding the missing color and light information. And finally, a neural model sharpens all the edges. It's pure, beautiful engineering. And here is the classic host A mic drop. My custom automation templates found these problems in 0.02 seconds. For A, feelings aren't just beside the point, they are inefficient variables that get in the way of solving the problem. And that little mention of their own templates, that's key. They're showing you the power of the very systems they're built on. Okay, so we have two completely different problems and two completely different solutions. The creative fix versus the technical fix. So who's right? Well, maybe that's the wrong question entirely. Maybe the point isn't to pick a side, but to actually build a bridge between them. And this right here is the biggest takeaway from our whole explainer today. We're calling it the bridge. It's this idea where you use powerful technical tools like host A's AI to first create a technically perfect high-quality canvas. And then you bring in the artist, host B, to use their skills in composition, color, and storytelling to turn that perfect canvas into a real masterpiece.
And boom, here's the proof. On the left, you've got that original, sad photo. On the right, you have the synthesis. Host A's workflow took that file and made it a tack-sharp 4K quality image. All the noise is gone, the details are back, but then Host B's artistic eye came in, cropped it for better composition, and applied a beautiful color grade that tells an actual story. It's not tech versus art. It's tech in service of art.
Okay, so that's the theory, and it looks great with a photo, but how does this idea of the bridge hold up in the real world? Let's try to apply it to a totally different problem with a little live debug session. We actually had a viewer send in a project they were stuck on, and this time, the problem wasn't a photo, it was a piece of code. So we asked our hosts that same core question. Is the problem technical, or is it creative? Is the bug in the JavaScript, or is it in the design? So here's the issue. A simple 404 error page. Now, functionally, it works. The code does its job. But just look at it. It's cold, it's jarring, and it totally shatters the user's experience. The function is there, but the form is a total failure. So we gave the problem to both of them. Host A naturally dove straight into the code. They found a redundant function call and instantly made the script 15% more efficient. It's a clean, logical, technical win. But Host B saw a completely different problem and a different opportunity. They focused on rewriting the error message itself to make it feel on brand and turn a bad moment into a good one. And here's what Host B came up with. I mean, this is just brilliant. Instead of a cold, sterile 404 error, the user gets this. It's clever, it perfectly matches the brand's voice, and it turns a moment of frustration into something kind of charming. So think about it. Host A fixed the machine, but Host B fixed the experience for the human using it. That is the bridge in action. Which kind of brings us to our final thought for you today. We spend so much time trying to master our tools, right? Whether it's a camera or a code editor. But what if the most powerful tool you have isn't a thing at all? What if it's the mindset that exists in the space between them? That space where the engineer and the artist can finally meet. So, what will you build there?